Julia called the hotline and asked about growing peaches. Listen to her call.
Hi, my name is Julia. I'm calling about how do you, the peach trees growing in your garden, what do you use for fertilizing to cause them to have sweet peaches on them? Thank you. Bye.
Well, it's a lot harder than just add in fertilizer.
That's it.
You know, if we were to suggest a fertilizer, it would be tree tone by Espoma. It is organic. It's perfect for both fruit trees and shade trees and ornamental trees. That it is an analysis to produce fruit, but you need more. Peaches and all fruit trees, there's a reason why not everybody grows them. It needs some things. Now, we're going to go through it. It's not like a vegetable garden where you kind of plant your plants and then you hope the sunshine and everything else brings your fruit, whether it's tomatoes or tomatillos, or whether it's cucumbers, or no matter what you put in. It needs horticultural care.
Yes.
Wow, that sounds fancy, huh?
Yeah,
fancy. Fancy. All right, so let's go through the basics. Peach trees need full sun, well-drained soil, and protection from harsh weather. What's that mean? Harsh weather.
Harsh weather?
I guess
environmental
wind. It needs
wind.
It's in most of our listening area, you're fine for growing peaches. You need care. They need care. They're going to need to be watered in season. They need to be pruned. If you don't prune them, you don't get fruit. And Julia, I would suggest, I don't know how long or how old your peach is, but if you've never pruned it, pruning is something that you need to do and will help your peach to form the flowers in the way that they're not only going to produce fruit, but they're also going to prevent disease from getting onto the peaches. So they're not going to be like all brown inside or there's something going on. Also, you need to look out for insects and, like we mentioned, disease. But it's
pest.
But let's cover pruning first.
Yeah.
Your goal when you prune a peach tree is to have it as a vase shape with an open center so that you get a lot of airflow around the branches and leaves and fruit. Now, late winter is the optimum time to prune peaches. Now, we talk about late winter pruning all the time, like when we're talking about panicle type hydrangeas or viburnums or certain types like buddleia. Late winter pruning is something that's done on a lot of different plants. Now, just add peaches to your pruning schedule in late winter. You want to do it when the tree is dormant. And again, it's all about opening it up, taking any cross branches, making sure that it's that open vase shape. And you want to do it before any spring growth has happened so that it's healed when it begins to grow. So again, we're talking about late February, mid-February, early March, very early March. Don't wait too long. Key thing is don't use crappy tools.
Yeah, that's another
use a sharp pruning shear, and that those branches will be a clean cut and not be crushed before you do it. And the scissor type of pruner is what you want. You don't want an anvil type. An anvil type, if you're looking on YouTube, an anvil type is that kind where you have like a platform and the blade crushes onto the platform before it cuts. You want a scissor type so that it bypasses the other blade and that will give you a nice, sharp, clean cut. And you want to make sure, Julio, every time I go to you, because you do this, what do you do after you make your cuts? Do you clean your tools?
I clean all my tools.
How do you clean them?
I use a little bit of bleach, water and bleach. Not much bleach, just a little bit to clean that, anything bacterial.
Because there are pathogens where if you have a diseased branch and you're cutting and going to the next one, you're spreading it. Now, instead of it being just in one area, you've got it all over your whole tree. So what to do is when you're opening up the canopy to be that open V shape, that you want to make sure that you're cleaning your blade so you're not taking it and spreading that disease that possibly may be there. I don't care if you don't see it. If you don't see it, I don't have a disease on my plant. It's fine.
Yeah,
well, guess what?
Yeah, it's there.
You might, because when the leaves are all off and you just have branches, it's pretty darn hard to know whether you've got leaf curl or you have some other things. So just do it as just a good practices. You're going to take back things to the main trunk. A lot of times this may mean that you've got some big branches that you need to take off. And it's vital for, again, opening up that interior for light and air to penetrate through. You want to take out stuff that is like, basically is making it stuffy. It's too full. You want to shorten the branches or the shoots, and you don't remove it entirely. So that's like called a heading cut. It stimulates growth, and it ends up having it in a bushier appearance. So again, pruning is probably the most ignored thing that people do or don't do when it comes to fruit trees. But it's the most important for fruit production. When you have disease issues or insect issues, unfortunately, it's attractive. These fruit trees, they have a lot of sugar content, and in some cases that those trees are just like a target to certain insects and certain diseases for sure. By opening up, again, going back and I can't say it enough, pruning your fruit tree. By opening it up, it will eliminate a lot of the diseases, but it also, birds are our friends, okay? They do the work of a spray insecticide that they'll come and they'll pick off those bugs and eat them. So if you have birds in your neighborhood or birds near your fruit trees, that's a great thing. Not so much when they're trying to eat your fruit, but when they're trying to eat the insects that are on your fruit tree, they're your buddies.
That's right.
Peach borers. Ugh. Now, they lay their eggs on the tree in the fall, and then they hatch, and they burrow into the tree, and when you see like sap just oozing out of it, that's a borer. That's a borer. That you've got an issue. You've got to take care of that. It could kill your tree. Just make sure you're keeping an eye out for that. Aphids are a pain because they are such mass. Like just think like they're all of a sudden a mass of insects. And aphids on their own are not that big a deal, but when they come in mass, there are so many generation that they cause a black soot called honeydew, and we've talked about that. And honeydew is, Julio?
Poop.
Say it a lot.
Poop.
Poop. I love making Julio say poop. It is not. It is not in Julio's
repertoire.
Yeah, he doesn't say poop often. Anyway, but what it does is it covers a tree with a black, sooty. Just covers the and not only that, but foliage. Like all of a sudden, your leaves are all like we get it all the time. People come in, it's like, look, my leaves are all black. They're not black because they have, like, say, a mold on them. They're black because they have aphids that have now attracted other insects that are damaging the tree. You have to be on a spray program. A spray program, when the bud begins to break in the spring, you start spraying. And look, a home orchard spray is going to be the perfect thing because it's a mixture of insect and disease control, and you just need to use it. And it's probably every 2 to 3 weeks because there's a first stage is that bud, next stage is that, 3/4 flower, the next stage is when fruit develops. And we have, Aaron, we were talking about where we have a form that we can give
Absolutely.
people. What is that?
Absolutely. So we at Bloomers, we've actually curated a fruit tree care guide. And so for anybody who has questions regarding early spring, what you should be doing next year, what you should be doing in the fall with your fruit trees in terms of pruning, the whole nine, how you should be fertilizing, we've made that list available for you. So if you'd like one, feel free to reach out to us on the hotline. Let's say it together, guys. 609-685-1880. Reach out, please. All right? Absolutely. Absolutely. Or you can just stop into Bloomers or shoot us a message on our website, and we'll definitely get you one. Absolutely.
And that will cover everything from pruning to spraying insecticides and disease controls.
Correct.
And for all fruit trees, not just peaches, but peaches are included. So
Absolutely.
Make sure that you give us a call on the hotline and that ask that, can you please send me, don't forget to give us your address, and that we'll get it to. We also can send that to your email as a PDF, so we can do that as well. Just please get in touch with us on the hotline. Fruit trees are tricky, and it's not just add fertilizer. They need to be sprayed. They need to be pruned. And when you start understanding that and doing that, it becomes a hobby, and it also becomes endearing because you get better and better and better at it. So again, ask for that fruit tree guide. Please contact us, and that we'll get it out to you as soon as possible.